In this next one, we want to find standard form equation, vertex, focus, directrix, and axis of symmetry. So we want to find all those things given this equation. So the first thing I notice is my x is squared. So I know it's a vertical parabola. So that's going to make it a little bit better for me. Now I don't want to have anything before my squared term. So I'm going to multiply to get things away from that squared term. I'm going to multiply this, everything, by -2. So when I multiply that by -2, what I am left with is -2y equals x squared plus 2x minus 1. Now what I have to do is complete my square, complete my x square, and to do that I need to get my x's grouped and everything else on the other side of the equal sign. So that's going to give me a -2y plus 1 equals x squared plus 2x. And now I complete my square by adding 2 over 2 quantity squared to both sides. Okay, now when I do that and I simplify things out, what I have is -2y plus 2 equals my perfect square, which would be x plus 1 squared. Okay, so now I am almost in my standard form equation. The only thing I need to do is write it x plus 1 quantity squared, and I want nothing before my y in my standard form equation. So I need to have something y by itself, because here's my standard form equation, x minus h quantity squared equals 4p y minus k. So there can be no variables or numbers before either one of the variables. So what I need to do here is figure out what I need to factor out to get a 1 as my coefficient. And it looks to me like what I need to factor out is my 2. Factor out a -2. So if I factor out a -2, then that's going to give me -2 on the outside, and inside the parentheses I would have y minus 1. So that is my standard form equation. Now my vertex is easy to find, so my vertex is going to be my hk, so that's -1, +1, my h and my k. Now the next thing I need to solve is my focus and my directrix, and then finally my axis of symmetry. So I need to find those 3 things now. So my focus and directrix all come down to my p. That's what it matters. So to find my p, what I need to do is look at the number that is before my non-squared term, and that is -2. That -2 corresponds to 4p. So 4p equals -2. Well, 4p equals -2, and I divide by 4, then I know that p is equal to -1/2. If p is equal to -1/2, I can find my focus and directrix. So my focus, because this is a vertical parabola, my focus is going to equal h, k plus p. So that is going to be my h, which I already found to be -1, and then my k is 1 plus my p, which is -1/2. So if I simplify that, my focus is going to be -1, +1/2. If you add 1 minus 1/2. And next, my directrix. My directrix is an equation of a line, and because it's a vertical parabola, what we need to do is find that our directrix is y equals k minus p instead of k plus p. So that's going to equal my k was 1 minus p, which was negative 1/2. So minus 1/2. Okay, 1 minus 1/2, minus negative 1/2 is actually 1 plus 1/2, giving me 3/2. So my directrix is the line y equals 3/2. And finally, my axis of symmetry. My axis of symmetry is opposite of my directrix. My directrix is a y equals, so that means my axis of symmetry is x equals. And it's whatever x equals in my original vertex and my focus. So since my -1 and -1 x values are for my vertex and focus, then x equals -1 is my axis of symmetry. And that would be all of the pertinent information that we need to know. This last example is similar to the first example where we're given the vertex point and the focus point, and we need to figure out the standard form equation from that. So the first thing we look at is with which of these 2 points has something that is the same about them. Well, if I look at the y values here, they are both the same and they are both 0. So my axis of symmetry is it's y, and it's going to be when y equals 0. That's my axis of symmetry. So because my axis is y equals, that means it is a horizontal parabola. And if it's a horizontal parabola, that tells me that my standard form equation is y minus k quantity squared equals 4p x minus h. So now what I need to find from there is the rest, put in what I know. So I know the vertex. So I'm going to put in the vertex. Y minus my k, which is 0, squared equals 4p x minus 1. Okay, so now all I need to do is find p, because if I simplify that, y squared equals 4p x minus 1. So I need to find p. Well, p has something to do with the focus. If I know that the focus is h plus p k, then what I need to do from there is just put in what I know. I already know that h is equal to 1, so I'm going to put that in. 1 plus p, and I also know my k is 0. So I find p by using my focus point here. My focus point is 2, 0, so that means that this needs to equal 2, 0. So that must mean that 2 equals 1 plus p. Solve for p, subtract the 1 over. So that means p equals 1. So if p is 1, then my final equation is y squared minus or equals 4 times 1 x minus 1. So final answer, y squared equals 4 x minus 1. And there's your standard form equation of your parabola. And that's it for your notes over understanding parabolas. Go through some more practice problems and make sure that you can do this. Practice both horizontal and vertical because they are different, and it just takes work and practice to know what you're doing. And then prepare for your quiz, which will be after the graphing portion of parabolas.